This is the Makita CL004G stick vac. But what's different about this one compared to all the others? Well, the most noticeable difference is this is a powered head. This is a bit different too, but we'll talk about that later. But as you can see, we've got power going to this, couple of prongs there. There's power going all along underneath here. So you can't just buy this power head and chuck it on your existing vac. Ain't gonna work. If you want the power head, you'll have to buy this unit because it's got the power running down the pipe there. But before I talk about it too much, I want to go use it. So let's go see how it sucks. In mode 3. Didn't you want to be in that video? Fair enough. If it works good with bird debris, then I'm sold. Got it on speed 2, mode 2 for this test. Nice and quiet. Crank it up to mode 3. Well, I think it did a better job than the Dyson, which tends to just fire some of that stuff out in front of it when it hits the brush. So yeah, pleased so far. Doesn't pull itself along quite as nicely on this rug, but it is ridiculously fast. Well, that didn't last very long. As soon as my wife saw me using it, she thought, "Oh, what's that?" And I don't know if you can hear, but above my head, she is currently vacuuming. Not very loud. Oh, she's gone onto the wooden floor. Anyway, I'll try and get it back from her and finish this video. Right, I've managed to wrestle it back off the wife. Let's now have a closer look at the powered brush head here. Now, unfortunately, the wife has long hair. And, yeah, it kind of looks like the whole brush is now covered in a cobweb. Thankfully, you can take it out. So what do? You push this, push that over, take that off, and then simple as that, the whole thing comes out. And then hopefully we can get these hairs off. Bloody hell. This is the same stuff that clogs up all our drains. Man, that's just a few minutes as well she was using the thing. Now, Makita, your next thing you need to do is make a powered brush head like the Dyson ones that are conical, so that all the hairs go down to the end and drop off as you're using it, which is a pretty cool idea. Anyway, enough about that. We'll compare it to a Dyson shortly. Actually, well, started talking about Dyson. I've been using both of them next to each other, and this is lighter, quieter, and easier to push. This thing fires itself along the ground by itself. As soon as you turn it on, it just wants to walk away from you. Now, it has a trigger here, so when this is depressed onto your floor, the motor spins up your brush, and it runs across the floor so easily, and you can just vacuum with one finger like this. Taking a closer look at the brush, we've got 3 different levels of bristles. So the red ones are stiff, the dark green ones are a little bit less stiff, and the light green ones are nice and soft. So those different levels will help get dust and shit out of your carpet or off your surface. And as you can see, it is fairly easy to take out, bung back in, shove that in there, put that in there, boom, locked back in place. Unlike our Dyson one, which burnt out, and yeah, I had to get a knockoff replacement one. Got a couple of little wheels here at the front, nice soft bristle here at the back as well. Stop dust coming out the back there. Got a couple of little wheels on the back, and we've got a good amount of movement in that joint there. Let's put it back on the vac, eh? Dust canister looks a bit full, we better empty that, huh? Now this particular, good and full. Well, it works. It sucked up plenty of dust and feathers and yeah. Why did I tip that out on my bench? Anyway, this is one of two different cyclone dust cup things you can get. So there's two variants. This is the 250mm. You can also get a 400mm, so it'll be a bit longer. Personally, I would go for the 400mm if I were you. Maybe somebody editing this will be able to put that in a measurement that Americans understand. Behind the dust canister is this black area here. It's very different to this model, the CL004G, which is like Makita Vacs have been for years, just the twist off dust canister thing there. And then it's got the covered in dust filter there. I use this one with a cyclone to try and stop as much as possible from getting into there. Looking at this one, this area here clips off. So the filters are all built into this canister. Is that a good word for it? I don't know if you can hear that rain, but it is pelting down outside. Now this is the first time I've taken this off to have a look at this, so bear with me. We're learning together. Oh, in the back we've got a like pre-filter over no, what do we got here? Oh, that's just all that is. Doesn't have a HEPA filter under there. Doesn't say HEPA anywhere on it actually. Anyway, how does this one work? Okay, so that one screws out like that. It's covered in a bit of shit already. Looks like it'd be fairly easy to clean though. It's got another piece in the center, which I don't think you'll need to pop off unless you really want to give it a deep clean. There we go. Oh, there we go. We've got a sponge filter in there. So layer upon layer upon layer. Shouldn't be doing this. I'll end up with allergies. Anyway, clip that back on. I said clip that back on. Go in there. There we go. Slots in there. So that's the filtration system. No HEPA filter for a change. Oh, now look how dusty the outside of it's got. So whether that's easier to clean, well, long term that will be interesting to keep an eye on. If you're still using one of these old school 18-volt Vacs with the trigger, do yourself a favour, throw that in the bin and go and get yourself a new one. Now it doesn't have to be an XGT, the 18-volt ones will also come with this setup these days. The new generation ones have these 4 mode settings, which is very nice. They're much quieter, they're more efficient, they suck up the dust better, they got better filtration, and you don't have to keep your finger on a trigger, which is annoying. You can just push the button. Much nicer Vacs, available in 40 volt and 18 volt. Starting to sound like a commercial now. Anyway, these are just miles better than one of these. This just gets used for stuff I don't want to suck up with any of my other Vacs now. You know, horrible stuff. Asbestos, uranium powder, that sort of thing. The Vac also comes with a crevice tool, which has onboard storage. Now you don't have to run it at full length the whole time. You can pull it apart like so, take that section out, and then you've got a short little Vac. Or you could bung the crevice tool in there, of course. Just slots in, doesn't lock, and away you go with that. So a few different options there for different lengths. Now of course it's only ever going to work if you've got one of these powered pipes, so you're not going to be able to just grab any old Makita plastic tube and shove it on there. You need the power going through it. Nice and easy. When you've got it up in the air and you've got it running like this, the brush not spinning, but as soon as it touches down, you hear it start up then. While we're here, might as well vacuum the bench. Now that was on the lowest setting, setting 1 on the mode button there. Now setting 1 I've never really used on my other Vac, just not quite enough grunt. I use it on setting 2 for hard floors and then setting 3 and 4 for carpet. Most of the time I use it on setting 3. While we're looking at the modes, let's take a look at the runtime in each mode. With a 2.5 amp hour battery, these are the numbers that Makita gives. in the lowest mode, 60 minutes, in the next one up 40, next one up 20, and in full whack 14 minutes. Now that's a couple of minutes slower than you'll get with the CL001G, the original stick vac, presumably because this one has a powered head. Now when it comes to suction in each of those modes, the lowest mode, 20 watts of suction, followed by 40, 70, and 110 when you've got it in full whack. Now those numbers are just slightly different to the CL001G. That still has the most suck with 125 watts. I'm not sure what the O2 was, but I know that the O3 is only 100 watts. So this isn't the most powerful, but it's also better than the last couple, I think. But still not quite as good as the very first one. But some of that's probably due to the extra filters and things in here. And you can get an optional HEPA filter, and if you put that in there, then presumably the suction will be a bit less again. And if you're interested in the noise pressure of this thing, it's 66 decibels. Put all the specs up on the screen here that Makita gives so you can take a look at which one is important to you. As you can see, max sealed suction 20 kPa, max airflow 35 CFM. I take those numbers always with a pinch of salt when it comes to Vacs because everybody seems to measure them differently. And yeah, I just like to try them out and see if they actually suck shit up. One thing I love about this thing, and the wife loved about it, it's just so light. It's only 1.5 kgs with a 2.5 amp hour battery on it. It's only like about, whoop, kick the camera away, don't you? It's only about 2.2 kgs, so it's pretty damn light. Has this little rubberized foot here as well that you can sort of lean it up against things. You can stand this up against the wall and you can hang it on the edge of things like this. Cool. The handle has this little hole too where you can put a strap or something through. It's got a light which isn't the brightest thing in the world, but helps you in dark corners and the like, plus also it flashes when the battery is getting low. Don't know how well the light is showing up on the camera. It doesn't look like it's showing up very good at all, but it is there. I can see it. While we're here, it's nice to finally have a vac with a motorized head from Makita. I've been wanting one for a while. Hopefully they put that technology on some other Vacs too. And now I guess I better get this thing back upstairs to the wife before she comes down and nabs it again, and let her finish vacuuming the house and sucking up all the bird detritus. And if you're interested in Vacs and you haven't seen this video from a few days ago, then go check that out. It'll be up in the top corner up here, down in the description. Thanks guys, see ya.